Okay, so let's talk about F W Woolworth. This actually became a focal point of Greensboro, North Carolina, February 1st, 1960, by 4 college students from the North Carolina A&T State University. You have Franklin McCain, Ezell Blair Jr., Joseph McNeil, and David Richmond. One day, they actually came to F W Woolworth Company with the intent to express their feelings how they should be able to sit at the lunch counter like everyone else. This was the time of segregation, and black patrons of this particular establishment, they were not able to eat at the lunch counter. They actually had to stand. Oh, hey, sir, you can come on by. They actually had to stand up in a separate section after they purchased their food items. This actually became an awareness by one of the students when he took a visit to New York City. When he went to New York City, he noticed that the Jim Crow laws were not in effect. He came back and he was back in his real world. So at F W Woolworth at the time, 1959, on his visit to New York City, he began to think about it and realizing that this shouldn't be. This is not right. I'm paying my money, but I cannot sit at the counter. So from 1959 up until February, he started planning it. The one thing that I do like about this sit-in is that he planned it. He took into account what he needed to do. And one of the gentlemen spoke to a well-known gentleman by the name of, I'm going to get his name, a prominent businessman who was Caucasian. He contacted the man and asked him to contact the media outlets before arriving here on February 1st, 1960. 61 years ago, this happened. And it took from February 1st, 1960 to July 25th. The actual sit-in was the culmination or the catapult where it ignited people from other states to come join in. By the time a few days went by, they had 1,400 students that came to participate. This sit-in actually ignited people and made them become aware, and Raleigh, Charlotte, and other major cities also had their own sit-ins. So Woolworths, from February 1st up until July 24th, they had not segregated. But by July 25th, 1960, F W Woolworth Company decided to officially, legally allow black patrons to sit at the counter. Now let me take you back to February 1st. That day, the Woolworths called the police, but because the students had already contacted the gentleman to call the media was already aware of it. And when they made their purchase of their food items on February 1st, 1960, the students purchased their items and they made sure that they kept their receipt. After they purchased their items, they sat at the counter, making sure that they put their receipt on the counter to show proof of payment. When the police officers arrived and saw that they did indeed purchase items, they actually had to do nothing. They weren't able to do anything. They said, well, they are paying customers and there's nothing that we can do about it. Even though the 4 students sat at the counters, a police officer was behind them with their billy club, tapping it in attempt to intimidate them. They were not intimidated. They stayed there. They came back the next day with other students. They returned another day, and they kept returning, and like I stated, 1,400 other students participated in this sit-in as well as others. But specifically for this F W Woolworth company, on July 25th, 1960, they decided that yes, we will officially allow Black patrons to sit down at the counter. 61 years ago, here at F W Woolworth, there were already sit-ins. Atlanta, like I said, here in North Carolina, that also participated to allow people to feel welcome and to be able to eat where they were patronizing an establishment. That's it for today. I love history. I love to share. In case you don't know, with the mask, my name is Lisa Wigfall. Lisa Wigfall. Thank you for watching today. If this is your first time to this channel, welcome. I appreciate you. I love you. And the one thing that I always try and say is just remember as best as you can to live, love, laugh, and most of all, smile. Take care until next time.